Good morning, this is Kim Watson. Welcome to a morning review on Wednesday, 27th of April. Okay, so looking at the euro dollar first, and as you see, we've had a series of lower highs on the dailies here and lower lows now. Really looking at the current price action and, well, pushing up once again at the moment, but at any point you do wonder whether it will come back and catch that monthly pivot. From a daily perspective, though, in this current roll, we're still on these higher highs, with the exception of that peaking move. It's been, well, higher highs, higher lows rather, and higher highs generally, with the exception here. However, it is pushing up again at the moment, and it's already hit the daily pivot there. It could run up towards yesterday's highs, the R1 sort of zone at some point. We do, of course, have the FOMC statement coming out later on at 7 o'clock this evening, and that could be well, be interesting actually. I think I was wondering yesterday whether some of this volume was starting to come through, and some of what we're seeing here was to sort of move away from the dollar before the news was announced, and we could possibly see that. So that's always a secondary thing to consider, is whether we'll see some people hedging effectively or moving out their dollar positions, which will have a positive effect on the euro and the pound. So, talking of the pound, and well, let's just look at the bigger picture first. And we've run into the monthly R1, had a bit of a reaction from that. It's now, well, consolidating at the moment. There is the potential from this wedge pattern to move up towards its R2 this month, possibly. The next level of sort of horizontal resistance sits there at just about the 147 area, or 146.70 actually, the first point, and then we'll have the whole number at 147. So if it starts pushing up, it's figures just to be watching for. At the moment, it's looking with these higher lows, higher highs. It's looking pretty bullish, and we could see a break of this trend this morning, a continuation in that vein. As I said, if we see people starting to hedge their dollar positions, this could be bullish for these currencies. Okay, dollar yen. For the old price action going here on the dollar yen, it's consolidated a little bit in the last couple of days. It was making some good inroads in terms of weakening, but over the last 2-3 days, it's very, very choppy and really not going anywhere in real terms. Very range bound, so making it very difficult. So I'm not even going to go any further on that one. I wouldn't even look to trade it. Aussie dollar, well, we saw some low inflation, which suggests that the Reserve Bank of Australia may need to do something to stimulate the economy, but whether it does that or not is another matter. But that's the large sell-off over the overnight here, and it was already, just as you come back to the dailies, it was already teetering on sort of pulling down. It's a weaker of some of the pairs. The ranges were tight. Well, it's put in a big range now relatively, and it's gone right the way out. Caught its it's bouncing off one of its weekly pivots there. It's not really done much else up until then. I mean, the last couple of days it's been very, very choppy. It's whether or not it makes a bit of a recovery back into the R3, R2 area, but it's certainly already had a decent move. Canadian dollar, you know what to say first. Let's have a look at oil. Okay, so oil's held up. Let's go back to dailies there, and you see what it was held up pretty strongly. In fact, making more recent term highs. I mean, it's been a while since we've been as high as this now. It's new 2016 highs it was sitting at, so at this level. As I said before, we could be pitching up towards the sort of $50 mark, and I think that's where a lot of OPEC would like to see it as a minimum. A lot of producers can produce oil and make money at that level, so most likely it's where it's going to be sort of manipulated or pushed to. So we'll see. Sorry, I'll come back. Let's have a look at Canadian dollar now. The Canadian dollar, as I've said many a time, has a strong correlation with the price of oil, and as you can see, it's just pulled down, and continued in that mode. Let's just look at this 4 hourly, just checking. It's just just running back into the 4 hourly 8 here. We see strength in the other currencies. It's already hit the daily pivot here. We could see this selling off and continuing to the downside. It's done, I think, just about every other divergence and everything going, but it's still it's very strongly tied to the price of oil. And as long as oil's pushing up, the Canadian dollar will push down. So just watch for the trend break here, and we could see, as I say, a continuation to the downside. Right, that's pretty much it for me. News-wise today, as I've already mentioned, we've got the FOMC for the UK. We've got the GDP figure. It's a prelim figure. It's the first figure at 9:30, so that might give us a bit of volatility at that time. Aside of that, it's relatively quiet up until 3:30. We've got the oil inventories. Again, that could give the Canadian dollar a bit of a kicker as we see the price of oil react to those inventories. Thereafter, we just need to sit there and wait until 7 o'clock and the FOMC statement. And at 10 o'clock, we got the official cash rate from New Zealand. So there's two statements this afternoon or this evening, and then running into early morning tomorrow, we got the Japanese figures. So plenty of excitement to be happening. Okay, that's it for me. Have a great one. Bye for now.